Hey, this is Vinyl Keith coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to go back 60 years and a few hundred miles up north from me. We're going to travel up to Detroit, Michigan. Okay, there was a little band formed in 1964 called Mitch, Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. Okay, they were a huge influence on Ted Nugent and his longtime collaborator Derek St. Holmes. You know, the guy that, sings a lot of Ted's songs in his band, like Stranglehold. But yeah, they were a huge influence on Terrible Ted. Fantastic band. Had roots in both rhythm and blues back then and rock and roll. Okay. They covered a lot of songs from James Brown on their debut album. Okay. Now, before I get to the debut album, let me tell you who's in the band, okay? Mitch Ryder, of course, on lead vocals. Jim McCarty on lead guitar, and I'll get back to him in a minute. Mark Manco on guitar, lead guitar also. They had two lead guitarists. They had a third guitarist who played rhythm guitar, Joe Kubert. Jim McAllister on bass, and Johnny Badinjek on drums, okay? Now, Jim McCarty, after this band broke up, he went on to form Cactus. Okay, he was part of Cactus with Carmine Appice, Tim Bogart, and Rusty Day. Okay, if you guys remember Cactus, this album came out in 1970. Great hard rock band. Okay, but we're not talking about them. I just wanted to tell you that McCarty was, he went on to do other things. Now, with this band, Ted Nugent got the idea of playing that, that big Birdland that Ted always plays. That's what Jim McCarty played. And he claims he saw the Wheels in the early 60s. And that's where he got the idea from, because McCarty was playing these loud, monstrous riffs and chords on this big Birdland guitar. And I guess that influenced Ted in the way he started. And he played, I don't know if he played it with the Amboy Dukes or not, but ever since the debut album, I've always seen him with that big Birdland guitar. So, but anyway, let's get back to the Detroit Wheels. This band was fantastic, man. And they were formed in 64 and only lasted until 67 because Mitch Ryder got the idea to go solo, and he didn't really go nowhere by himself. I think he put out a few albums, but I don't think they did anything. But in 66, the Wheels put out their debut album. It's called Take a Ride. Okay, now I know you see stains on it. I just picked this up for a few bucks, a couple years ago when I discovered this band through Ted Nugent in an interview I saw on YouTube somewhere. But yeah, this is a great album. All three of these, they put out 3 albums I'm going to show you. And they're all 3 really good. Oops. Okay. They were put out on New Voice Records. Right there. Well, it's also on the cover. And they did, the reason, I guess one way to tell they had their roots in rhythm and blues is they covered, they covered a Sam Cooke song called Bring It On Home to Me. They did a song called Come See About Me that was recorded by the Supremes in 1964. So they did a lot of cover songs, okay? They also did 3 cover songs on this album from James Brown. Please, 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 I'll Go Crazy, and I Got You. I Got You may be my favorite song on this record. I don't know, it's kind of close. Jenny Take a Ride, the title track, is really good. I really love Bring It On Home to Me, too. I Hope. This is a great album. Great album. If you've never heard of this band, you need to check them out. There's Mitch right there. This is their first album. Came out in 1966. Highly recommend it. Now, even better. This might be my favorite album from them, called Breakout. They do a version of Walking the Dog from Rufus Thomas. Fantastic. You may know, remember that song, Aerosmith covered it on their very first album. If you remember that. In the Midnight Hour from Wilson Pickett. But their biggest hit, I believe, was Devil with a Blue Dress On. And it's like a melody combined with Good Golly Miss Molly from Little Richard. Really cool track. And then the title song, Breakout, You Get Your Kicks. That's another great track. Another record has seen its better days, as you can tell on the back. See this? But all three of these, the covers are kind of shaky, but the records are in good shape. Okay, I like to play these quite often. They get your toes tapping. That's where the R&B comes in with this band. You can't sit still with these guys, man. They're very high octane for mid 60s. Very high octane. Great band. And then that also came out in 1966. Okay, then in 1967 they put out Sock It To Me. Love that title. Of course, the title track, Sock It To Me, Baby. I Can't Hide It. Shakedown. That's a great song. I'd Rather Go to Jail. And Wild Child. And here they are right there. There's the band. Jim McCarty, that's the guy that influenced Ted Nugent right there. With that Birdland guitar. There's Mitch Ryder next to him. Sorry, I gotta turn it to read it. Johnny Bandzek, they called him Johnny B. He's the drummer. He was right there. That guy. Joe Kubert, the rhythm guitarist, and James McAllister on bass. And there's those other two albums, see? They only put out these 3 albums, okay? But man, are they good. Fantastic band. I can't talk enough about these guys. And I wish I had known about these guys all my life. I mean, I'm just about the same age as the band would be if they were still performing. Yeah, fantastic. All 3 of these records were killer, I'm telling you right now. Killer. So, if you want to check out a new band from the old days, this is one I highly recommend. Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels. Okay? Alright, that's all I got for you. Until next time.